anything that's ever said about my mother that is a negative or tried to portray in a negative light or made her look anything from the lady, the woman that she was, is not acceptable to me at all. You know, she went from that home to being a mother that loved her daughter more than anything, no matter how she got here or where she came from. And then, you know, she ended up in here, and she didn't do that by just sitting around and waiting on it to come to her. And she always, I mean, this is something she'd put for her mother. She loved her mother. She was there when her father died. She was a wonderful soul, and I wish I could be more like her. Forgiveness came easy for her. You know, and sometimes I think that's why I get so defensive when it comes to her, because, you know, I don't want anyone to hurt her. I didn't want them to hurt her in life, and I don't want them to hurt her now. Because without her determination and her courage to save more than herself and to keep pushing on every day, no matter what was going on, I was able to do the same. You know, I went from a single wide to the home I had, to the fire, you know, and it gave me the strength, knowing that I have that determination and that courage, and that there is no excuse for me to say I can't do it. None. To where, you know, I'm home now. To me, any excuse right now for anyone that got the benefit of being with her is simply that, an excuse. So I'm not gonna go any further with it, but you know, I wanted people to understand, if they heard what was said and the way she's been portrayed, and I have, my sisters, my whole family. It's not true. And if there is any truth to anything about any of them, it's twisted and turned, and it's lies, and it's out of vengeance and being, you know, wanting to get to the big house without taking the steps to get there. They want, you know, one thing that I learned, I drew from my mother, was it wasn't going to happen itself. And how long was acceptable to lay and cry about something? You know, I know that times are different. You know, like my two sisters were born in the late 40s, and you know, they were good girls, and because, you know, it just wasn't acceptable to be any other way. They were virgins when they married. They were just good. They were home till they married. They worked, and they supported they were part of a family. You know, everybody worked together. And then in the 50s is when I was born, in the late 50s. You know, and that was a different kind of, a little bit different than them. You know, I think my generation might have been a little bit rebellious. You know, like we wanted to change it up and quit being so straight-laced. You know, and then my little sister, she come along in the 60s. And it was more about love, and love first, you know. It was there was a different generation altogether as well. You know, but for each one of us, it was our goals were different. You know, we each had our own thoughts and hearts, and you know, my youngest sister, she, you know, she loved her husband, and she loved him up to the day he died, and regardless of, you know, what I might think or anything else, that was important to her to have that marriage that lasted. You know, and it could be because, you know, the nights that we would have to leave home when my parents would fight, we would end up in a bathroom floor at this, you know, outside of the school. You know, it wasn't fun, and it may have instilled in her to make it work no matter what. You know, for me, it was a different thing for me because I think I just saw something in my mom that, you know, I think that's why it made it so easy for me to pack and go. I can be ready to roll in a matter of minutes. I'm also very messy, so I'm gonna leave a mess behind as I leave. But for each one of us, it was a different plan, different route, and a different generation. But I know the same thing applies. No, all the things, if you combined it all together, or if you did it separate, the things that we each went through that might have been traumatic, and that can be used for every possible thing in the world. We all knew that nothing was going to change till we took the step to change it. And how long did we want to stay where we were at? Because I don't know if you haven't noticed, but before I can stand somewhere and think about something for the longest time, but until I take that step toward it, I'm still going to be standing in that same spot I was in thinking about it. So, and I truly believe we pass these things on. You know, we leave what we don't need or it doesn't apply, and we take with us what we cherished. And you know, I know that's what I did. And I see, you know, my children maturing, and I see them doing the same thing. And I don't agree with them. So I think they're crazy. Some of them are crazy for, you know, going for the things, that big houses and things that and I try, you know, I tell them, but Lord, you know, it's really none of my concern. That's their thing. I mean, I wanted a big house too, and now I want a small house. But I think it just goes with your age and generation, the things you learn along the way. But I'm going to tell you, you know, I seen this in here, and I just cannot imagine if she going through all, and I didn't even begin what all she really went through. If she would have sat down and decided that she was just going to sit there till she got better or felt better or it went away or whatever reason she come up with to sit there, you know, that smile is a winner. She beat everything that got in her way, and she did it with grace and with honor, with courage, honesty, and she maintained being a lady and a woman that was proud when she walked out her door. She never presented herself any other way. She strived for perfection. She taught herself because she would not give up. And I miss her. So very much. And I know she's with my daughter. They were so much alike. But each one of us has that in us, and we seen it. Whether we'd ever been born to or not, we were lucky to see somebody who would not stop, would not be beat down, who fought for her family, who fought for people who wasn't her family. But I'm going to tell you, she would not hesitate to get a switch a hold of you. So, I don't know if I was able to show you how precious and how she does not deserve. You know, she never tore anyone else down to make herself appear better. She never ran out in the street and said, "Quit looking at me, look at so-and-so. They're doing much worse than me." Because she always taught us that it's not what everybody else is doing, it's what you're doing. It's not what you're planning on doing. It's the action. Get up, get it done, get going, get started. And because of her, you know, I knew when the house burned down, we had our little pity party. And it wasn't going to get built any quicker with us standing there until we started walking off and making plans and getting it going. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for the ones that have really helped me feel more welcome. I don't know and I don't understand, you know, any of it. And, you know, like, I know there's people out there that would hurt, you know, they don't have that. I guess because it is kind of anonymous, you know, they don't care. But I do want everyone and anyone who listens to me or ever said a kind word to me. I did, and I do care, and I will always think good things about you and wish the best for you. And I wish that if you like any of the things that I was so graciously given by my mom, even in the hardest times, I wish that you could